clearly implying Jack's supposed orientation. Janet, the lovely florist, and Cindy, our newest addition. Mrs. Furley, a formidable woman in a tailored suit, surveyed them with a critical eye. A most unusual arrangement. Indeed, Mr. Furley agreed, puffing out his chest. But Jack here is a true gem, a real gentleman, always looking out for the ladies, aren't you, Jack? He clapped Jack on the shoulder, a little too forcefully. Jack, trying to maintain his composure, forced a smile. Just doing my part, Mr. Furley. Cindy, sensing the awkwardness, tried to lighten the mood. Oh, Mr. Furley, I was just telling Kevin about your incredible sense of style. He's a tourist, you know, just like you. Mr. Furley, delighted, immediately launched into a lengthy explanation of the tourist personality, much to Kevin's polite amusement. Meanwhile, Janet, trying to distract Mrs. Furley from Jack, began to explain her floral designs. This arrangement, Mrs. Furley, is inspired by the vibrant colors of a California sunset, symbolizing hope and new beginnings. Mrs. Furley, however, was more interested in the practicalities. And how do you manage to live with a young man, dear? Such close quarters. Don't people talk? She cast a pointed glance at Jack, who was now attempting to discreetly remove a smudge of flour from his cheek. Janet felt a familiar flush of embarrassment. Well, Jack and I are just friends, Mrs. Furley. And Cindy, of course. Just friends? Mrs. Furley's eyebrows rose. Such a modern concept. In my day, a young man and two young women living together, well, it simply wasn't done. Jack, overhearing this, felt a surge of frustration. The lie was suffocating him. He wanted to scream the truth, to declare his feelings for Janet, but the words remained trapped. He saw the subtle judgment in Mrs. Furley's eyes, the way it reinforced the very reason he had created the lie in the first place. Later that evening, after the Furleys had finally departed, leaving behind a lingering scent of lavender and disapproval, Jack and Janet found themselves alone in the living room. Cindy and Kevin had gone out for a walk on the beach. I can't do this anymore, Janet, Jack blurted out, his voice raw with emotion. Janet looked at him, startled. Do what, Jack? Live here? The lie, he said, running a hand through his hair. The whole gay chef thing. It's suffocating me. Janet's eyes widened. What are you talking about, Jack? We agreed this was the only way to keep Mr. Furley off our backs. I know, Jack said, pacing restlessly. But it's gone too far. Every time someone makes a comment, every time Mr. Furley winks at me, it makes me feel like I'm living someone else's life. And it's keeping me from being honest. He stopped, turning to face her, his blue eyes intense. Honest with myself, and honest with you. Janet stared at him, a dawning realization slowly spreading across her face. Honest with me? What are you trying to say? He took a deep breath, the words tumbling out in a rush. Janet, I can't pretend anymore. The reason I hate the lie so much is because it's keeping me from telling you how I really feel. He stepped closer, his hand reaching out, then hesitating. I'm not gay, Janet. I never was. It was just a desperate story I made up to get Mr. Furley to let me stay here, and I'm so sorry I ever lied to you about it. Janet's mind reeled. The years of shared laughter, the quiet moments, the unspoken understanding, all filtered through the lens of this new revelation. Anger flared, hot and sudden. You lied to me, Jack. For years. You let me believe. You let everyone believe. How could you? Her voice trembled, a mixture of hurt and betrayal. I know, Jack said, his head bowed. It was stupid. It was cowardly. But I was desperate. And then it spiraled. I was afraid to tell you the truth. Afraid of what you'd say. Afraid of losing this home. This friendship. He looked up, his eyes pleading. But it's more than that, Janet. It's always been more than that for me. Janet took a step back, her emotions a tumultuous storm. The revelation was overwhelming. The man she considered her best friend, the one she'd shared her life with, had been living a fundamental lie. And now he was hinting at something even deeper. I need time, Jack, she whispered, turning away. I need to process this. She walked out of the living room, leaving Jack standing alone, the silence of the apartment heavy with the weight of his confession. The days that followed were strained, filled with an awkward silence that stretched between Jack and Janet like an invisible wall. Janet, hurt and confused, spent more time out of the apartment, seeking solace in her flower shop and in long walks along the beach. She met Mark for coffee, for dinner, trying to make sense of her feelings for him, feelings that now seemed pale and uncomplicated compared to the raw, messy truth Jack had revealed. Mark, sensing her distress, was patient and understanding. He listened to her vague explanations about friendship drama, offering a steady, comforting presence. He even suggested a weekend getaway to Big Bear, hoping a change of scenery would help her clear her head. Janet, desperate for an escape, agreed. Jack, meanwhile, was a wreck. He tried to apologize, to explain further, but Janet kept her distance. He saw the hurt in her eyes, the way she avoided his gaze, and it tore him apart. He confided in Larry, who, for once, offered surprisingly serious advice. Look, Jack, you messed up, big time. But if you really care about her, you gotta fight for her. Show her you're worth it. Show her you're not that guy who lied. Cindy, oblivious to the full extent of the drama, sensed the tension. She tried to cheer them up, offering to cook her famous casseroles, or suggesting movie nights. Her innocent attempts often fell flat, but her genuine concern was a small comfort. Kevin, too, noticed the shift in atmosphere, but respected their privacy. One evening, as Janet was packing for her weekend trip with Mark, Jack found her in her room. "Janet, please," he said, his voice soft. "Don't go." She turned, her eyes clouded with emotion. "I need to get away, Jack. I need to think." "Think about what?" he asked, stepping closer. "About Mark. About a life without this." He gestured around the apartment, encompassing their shared history. "Without me. I don't know what I'm thinking about, Jack," she burst out, tears welling in her eyes. "Everything's changed. You lied to me. How can I trust you? How can I even look at you the same way?" "Because I'm still me, Janet," he pleaded, finally reaching out and taking her hands. His touch was warm, reassuring. "I'm the same Jack who's been here for you through everything. The same Jack who makes you laugh, who cooks you dinner, who knows exactly how you like your coffee in the morning. And I'm the Jack who's hopelessly, completely in love with you." The words hung in the air, electric, shattering the fragile peace between them. Janet's breath hitched. She stared at him, her heart pounding. The confession, so long awaited, so fiercely denied, was finally out. You love me," she whispered, disbelief coloring her voice. "More than anything," Jack said, his gaze unwavering. "And that's why the lie became so unbearable. Because I couldn't stand the thought of you believing I was someone else. Especially when all I wanted was for you to see the real me. The me who loves you." Janet pulled her hands away, her mind racing. The anger, the hurt, slowly began to recede, replaced by a wave of confusion and a strange, undeniable warmth spreading through her chest. She remembered all the moments, the glances, the unspoken understandings. Suddenly I don't know what to say," she finally managed. "Don't say anything," Jack said, stepping closer still, his eyes full of a raw vulnerability she'd never seen before. "Just don't go. Not with him. Not when I've finally told you the truth." A knock on the door interrupted them. It was Mark, smiling, holding a small bouquet of wildflowers. "Ready to go, Jan?" Janet looked from Jack's pleading eyes to Mark's gentle smile. Her heart was a battlefield. She had a choice to make, one that would define her future. The next morning, Jack woke up to the smell of freshly brewed coffee and the sound of quiet chatter in the living room. He cautiously emerged from his bedroom, bracing himself for the silence, the awkwardness. Instead, he found Janet and Cindy sitting on the sofa, a pile of clothes scattered around them. Janet looked up, her eyes meeting his. There was no anger, no accusation, only a quiet understanding. "Morning, Jack." "Morning," he replied, his voice a little hoarse. He glanced around. "Mark." "He left early," Janet said simply. "I decided not to go to Big Bear." Jack's heart leaped. You didn't go?" "No," Janet confirmed. She patted the cushion next to her. "Come sit down. We need to talk." He sat, his gaze fixed on her. Cindy, sensing the gravity of the moment, quietly excused herself, heading to the kitchen to make breakfast. Janet began, her voice soft but firm. "I'm still angry that you lied to me. That was a betrayal of our friendship. And it hurt." "I know," he said, his voice filled with genuine remorse. And I'm truly sorry, Janet, more than you know. But, she continued, a faint smile